Hello, and welcome to the CivilNet podcast. I'm your host, Angela Hasassian, and joining me today is Arevik Vardanyan, who is the Chief of Staff at PIP and the co-founder of Line Armenian Architecture Biennial, but it's also pronounced Biennale, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yes, but we can go with
Biennial.
Biennial, yeah.
Okay, so after 2 years of meticulous planning, she and her team are launching the first of its kind month-long festival that's putting Armenian architecture on the global map. So, Arevik, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Can you take us back to the beginning? How did the idea for the first Armenian Architecture Biennial come to life? Like, what is the origin story for this event?
Of course. I want to start off by telling you a little bit more about what the festival represents and do a little backwards of our story. And as the first Armenia's first architecture biennale, biennial, our nomadic festival happening from September 6th to October 4th invites you to reimagine Yerevan's public spaces through architecture, design, and community engagement. With a 2025 theme of Up in the Air, we explore the themes that shape urban life through memory, collectivity, pollution, culture, and hope. During the festival, we're hosting 8 installations in Yerevan's public spaces. We have events that people can join, such as forums, workshops, walking tours, a symposium, a exhibition that is curated by Line at the National Institute of Architecture called Yerevan Then and Now, and a book publishing.
Wow.
We decided to start the biennial, first of its kind in Armenia, as a nomadic format, which means every 2 years we choose a different city in Armenia to showcase the beauty of Armenia through architecture, design, and cultural exchange. And that is where the idea came about with our co-founders, Sean Sharoyan and Sasha Dorfman. And we were just having conversations about city engagement and historical buildings and the architecture and design that has shaped Yerevan, for example, that we live in today. And we wanted to show this to the world and be the first to bring people from around the world and Armenians to create a platform and a community of not only architects, but young professionals, designers, institutions, cultural entities that want to experience Armenia and be part of its growth as well. Again, through architecture and design.
And what about the name Line? Like, what does it represent in terms of the mission and theme of the biennial?
Of course, Line is the name of the biennial, and the reason we call it Line is because in English, line is a line that any structure, any idea, any construction starts with a line, right. And in Armenian, line means growth, width, wide, and that's what we want to do. We want to expand and put our architecture and Armenia on the architecture map.
You set out a call for architects and artists and, all over the world. And you had, from what I understood, a very incredible, the open call was incredible. The response was incredible. What was the process of selecting them, and what were you looking for in projects when you were going through the selection process?
Yes, we did an open call in end of November 2024, and we received immense support and 171 submissions from 38 different countries.
Wow. And
we invited the architects and designer groups to reimagine these public spaces with the theme of Up in the Air. For us, Up in the Air means multiple things within society and within culture. Up in the air, is aloof, things are uncertain, we are scattered, but also it's love. And, when you fall in love, you're up in the air, you're in the clouds, it's light, it's happy, it's hopeful. And with that theme, there were different ideas that reimagined Yerevan's public spaces. And what we did is we also put an international jury together to help us with the selection process with a certain rubric that looks at, how is the space reimagined? Is it aesthetically compatible with the environment? Is it constructible? And, does it intrigue and give people some sort of ideas when they look at it? Because we want people to start discourse, pause and look at public spaces and their surroundings to not only appreciate the public spaces, but also see the beauty that's surrounding them.
And one of the first installations is titled Stop Building, Take Care. What kind of conversations are you hoping to spark with the public through this and other pieces that are included in the exhibition?
This exhibition specifically is a collaboration with Riot that from Switzerland. And with this exhibition, we are looking for people to understand heritage and historical sites and repurposing things that already are there. It's in terms of sustainability and for the sake of resources as well. And we want people to think about what it means to destroy and to rebuild. What are the consequences of these ongoing patterns that we're used to in terms of development and infrastructure change? And it's in collaboration with AHA Collective as well. So we're very excited to be bringing and collaborating different entities in Armenia and internationally. And one thing I wanted to also mention during that selection process as well is that we're very proud to be hosting participants from Armenia, the US, the Netherlands, the UK, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Italy, and Switzerland.
Wow.
So it's very interesting to see the different ideas come together. And some of these individuals, it's their first time in Armenia.
Wow.
And they were able to reimagine this space in Yerevan with their imagination through research. And now they're in the actual space making these installations a reality.
Yeah, and different perspectives from all over the world as well. That's super interesting. You mentioned that you're also producing a publication for the biennial, both in English and
in Western Armenian.
Armenian. Okay. So what is the role of this publication? What do you hope will come of it, both for the general public and for budding architects maybe who want some sort of inspiration or,
The goal of the publication is to create discourse and have different inputs about architecture, both in Armenia and globally. And we invited different participants and architects and authors to talk about different perspectives with the theme of up in the air, whether we're looking at how air collides with what we're able to see, pollution as well, how destructed buildings are being repurposed, and what the role of, for example, dances in architecture, because it's everywhere. And you don't have to be an architect or a designer to appreciate this industry. For example, I'm not an architect, and I'm learning a lot about the ins and outs of the design and your surroundings and how that impacts your day-to-day life. And the publication is called Line Files, and this is edition A. The goal is to do A to Z every 2 years with the biennial. And it is in architecture journal magazine style, very urban, very contemporary. And we wanted to also include Western Armenian to get that discourse going in the diaspora as well. Because they are also interested in Armenia and what's happening with architecture here as well.
And you mentioned that the program really is interdisciplinary. There's fashion, performances, symposiums. Why was it important to include so many different art forms in this festival?
Because we're focused on creating this platform of architecture and building communities, it was very important to bring different ideas together. And having the different events allows us to create these experiences for individuals. And, you know, it's not one or the other. If you enjoy a certain activity and you want to experience something new within architecture and design, you're able to experience it with Line. And also because there's so many amazing ideas that were surrounded with us, and our goal was to make sure that we created that platform, community and cultural exchange, especially with all the guests coming from around the world, and for us, for people in Armenia, because at the end of the day, these are our public spaces, and it is up to us to take care of them and to appreciate them and to enjoy the beauty of Armenia, not just, you know, showcasing it to tourists or people around the world, but also our day-to-day life to be enhanced by our public spaces.
And our usage of them. What can visitors expect to learn about the city's past and present through the showcase Public Spaces of Yerevan?
Yes. The exhibition that is hosted at the National Institute of Architecture will have blueprints and old photographs and current photographs of the planning of Yerevan. So we had the opportunity to work with the Institute, go through these archives. Fascinating. You know, you have different blueprints of how the city was to be planned, the changes, and we put them next to what it currently looks like. So you really get to see the decision-making process or the changes that have happened. The photographs that we're showcasing are also beautiful, where we're able to compare it to what it looks like today, or if it's a completely different view. Exactly. And that's what's fascinating and about the influx of society and the urban life, and how architecture plays a huge role and design in our environment. And I think the goal of the exhibition as well is to have people talking about the city spaces, public spaces, how are they being used, and how can we continue enjoying these spaces and create more public spaces for people to come together.
And there are going to be art installations kind of scattered all across Yerevan,
correct?
Right? Okay.
Yes.
And how will we know where to find them, basically?
We have a tour. We have a walking tours, and we have a guide. And I can mention a few of the public spaces for listeners if they're walking around. You have installations at the Republic Square Metro, the Yerevan Metro. We have an installation at Garapi Leach or Swan Lake, and the English Park. We have installation at Mother Armenia, near Mother Armenia, that you'll be able to see throughout the city, and a nomadic installation as well that's going to be moving around throughout the city.
Oh, interesting.
That people will be able to follow as well.
Okay. What would you consider the success of the biennial looking like? How would you define, okay, this was a success?
The success would be to enjoy and have people look at the public installations for the whole month, for them to start being curious and thinking more about public spaces and how we use public spaces today, and for them to want to be involved in the future biennials, as the Nomadic Festival is going to be in a different city every 2 years in Armenia, which means, you know, when we decide to go to the next city, it would be nice to know where we want to do the community engagement and the cultural exchange. And for people to also understand that they do have the power to make a difference within their own communities, and to enjoy the public spaces, and to be that creativity will be able to, you know, bring them new drive. And your environment really does shape you, and so we can build environments, especially in public spaces, that inspire and empower people. That's
amazing. I mean, truly, that's an important impact to have. And I guess you kind of covered this, but like the long-term vision of biennial would be to then move from different places in Armenia, different cities in Armenia, and kind of expand on that. Well, I think that's amazing. I think that I know I'm looking forward to visiting these installments, I should say. Installations. Public installations throughout the city. Yeah. So yeah, thank you. Thank you for joining us here at CivilNet and sharing, 2 years worth of work and dedication. And thank you for joining us at CivilNet.